Hello, today I'm gonna teach you how to create a workflow using EzFlows. To start, click on Build and then select Maps, New Workflow, and for the sake of test, let's create a workflow in which you have a lead from a website and you want to categorize that lead, save into a list, and send an email onboarding him. So let's create our workflow. Let's use leads, select a business unit, and let's start working on it. Since in this example we will be having a web app in which we'll have our form, let's start selecting an HTTP trigger. Let's configure this node so that we can have a JSON body. And let's say that we have things like the name, let's say we have an email, and that's it for now. Save, drag this line, extract fields. Now as you can see, we have name and email. Now all we gotta do is create a new contact. Just to facilitate things a little bit, let's add another field called last name. Okay, now all you gotta do is link the nodes. There we go. Now this contact will be created into our base. Now what we wanna do is send an email to our user. We can send an email using EzFlows Managed, or you can bring your own provider. For example, Amazon SaaS. For this example, I will be using EzFlows Managed System. Okay, so now we can send a body, but you can also create a template for our email. So for that, we need to create a new template. In order to do that, go to Build, Templates. Hit New Template, and let's say lead onboarding. And let's say that it is an email. Now let's open it. And over here, we have an HTML editor. So all you gotta do right now, let's ask our AI to give us an HTML for our template. So let's say a little bit of typo over there. So now we have our HTML ready to be copied. Let's paste it here. Nice. Now let's replace some things. Instead of your company name, I will put my company. And over here we have the lead's name. We can use variables like this by placing those brackets. Over here we have that. Over here I also have my company name. I will place my company. Nice. Now I will leave this like this just for the sake of simplicity. Let's hit save. And now let's go back to our workflow. Let's click in here and we already have our template. The variables were already matched, so we can just drag name over here. Let's connect the body. Let's connect the recipient. Let's now add a subject to our email. To do that, we can use a value node. Let's connect this over here. And nice, it should be working now. So now let's save our workflow. Okay, so now let's see if it's working. Let's hit test run. And let's place this. Let's erase this. And let's place this as the last name. Let's hit run. Okay. Let's see, I've created, oops, I said the wrong email. I have a ready email over here at a temp mail. Let's place it over here and let's hit run. Okay, so now let's check if we actually received our email. Let's hit refresh. Okay, we received the welcome aboard. So as you can see, we got the email with all the variables needed. So now as you can see over here, we have the URL, and if we make a request to this URL, post request using this body, you will be able to perform your request. Now let's check over here at operate and jobs. Let's see how it was executed. So as you can see, it was a success 1 minute ago and 2 messages sent. Let's click on view details. And over here, we can see how many actions it took. So we had a fill email template, and this is the output. So this is the email field, and we have the email over here. So we can see what was sent as an email. Now let's check if our contact was created. So we go to contact, and as we can see, there you go, here it is, our contact that was created. Okay, so now let's say that we want to have a pipeline to actually aggregate the customers that we have. Let's create a pipeline called leads. And over here, let's add a to-do, and let's add a in progress column. Let's also add a done column and mark as final. Okay, now we can change our platform to add a new node, a create card node. We can set a pipeline and the column. Let's add it to in progress. Let's hit save. Over here, at the name of the card, let's simply use the username. And the description, let's say that it is welcome aboard. Okay, let's hit save. And let's add something like add card creation. Okay, now let's test run. Okay, now let's take a look at our jobs page. Over here we can already see on pipelines that the card was created. And another thing that we can do is check the view environments. Over here, we can see what changed in our environments, and we can also create new environments, like developing our staging environment. Let's click over here. And as you can see, there was 2 changes. So we had the init. Let's click it over here. And this was the workflow. We also had add card creation, and this is the new workflow. You can also, if you have multiple environments, you can merge an environment into another. So let's say we had a staging environment, we could publish the changes to production, and we would be able to see the changes side by side over here. And over here, we have our dashboards with the message sent, successful, fails, the pipelines, the total cards that was created, the total cards that we have, and the recent runs. This is pretty much about it. So just to go a little bit more over the notes, we have a lot of things like calendar, crons, form triggers, A/B tests, and a very special node that is the LLM completion node. Over here, you can bring your provider, select a model, and give it a prompt. The output will then be a output add on this specific node, in which you can drag into other nodes, or you can create an agent by using tools. And over here, you can simply give tools to your agent. And you will be able to perform agentic tasks. Another thing that we have that is pretty neat is the form creation. So let's say that we want to have a public form now. Let's say that we want to have a public form now that when filled, add users to our leads pipeline. All you gotta do is click on form, and you can create a form. So let's say name, and let's say that we are going to have, I don't know, age. As soon as you click save, you will then have to click on publish. Now